Hello everyone, my name is Julian and I'm here to do an album review. This time is The Used, Vulnerable. This album came out back in March 26, 2012. It comes with 12 tracks, alright? There's no special edition that I know of. It's around 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. What can I say? I don't know what I was expecting when coming to review this album. I was expecting something that I would listen to once and move on with my life, because this type of genre, this alternative, progressive, punk, post-punk, mainstream sound that The Used had or has, I thought it was just bad, you know? But I didn't know The Used. This is me thinking and being ignorant before I even began to understand this Vulnerable album. I don't know anything before the Vulnerable album. I heard a couple of songs from the previous album just to get ready for this one, and I wasn't really digging it. Alright, and I thought this album's gonna be some shit, mainstream pop, punk, alternative, blah, blah. But it was not that. It was complete opposite. This album took me in from song number 1 by introducing dubstep to it, and it wasn't like a lot of dubstep. This album doesn't have dubstep in it. This is just one single part for the last like 5 seconds, just to spice up the song and go back to its normal way. Wow, that's really cool. I don't think it offended dubstep people. I don't think it offended the Used fans. I think it's cool, adds something new to the song. I love the first track to death. Other tracks are very original, alright? Each track, you know the name of each track. They all start different. They all have their different, you know, strum patterns, and not all the same thing. Some are really heavy. Some songs are really, really soft, like the ending track. Some songs have female vocalists in it, so you know each song separately. You're never gonna get confused. This album never gets boring. This album never gets like it just flows very well. Even though it's very diverse, I find myself enjoying it all. Soft, heavy, mainstream. The mainstream song in this album I really don't like. Hands on Faces. Everything else is pretty okay. I thoroughly enjoyed this whole album. It has some Panic at the Disco sound to it. It has some Jimmy Eats World sound to it. It has some Fall Out Boy sound to it. I mean, it was, I'm not saying they sounded like it just reminded me. And the diverse sound. Some are really heavy songs that I wouldn't expect it to come from this album. The drums are hectic, the solos. Sometimes they use techno effects, you know, a little bit of synths here and there. They spice up the whole album. Even if I'm not a fan of this genre, I actually put this whole, well, most of the album into my playlist for me to enjoy and listen to later. So, for fans of this genre and this album, I give it a 9 out of 10. And for me, for people who like my kind of music, who sometimes enjoy this type of music, I would give it a 7.5 to an 8. Alright? Just because I really enjoyed most of the tracks, it just wasn't all of them. They still hit some like mediocre songs just because the other ones are so amazing. Not that the mediocre songs are bad, it's just the other ones are too good. So the other ones just fall short. And the mainstream songs, they just sound too alternative for me. I was impressed with the dubstep, I was impressed with the female vocals, I was impressed with the heavies, with the softs. So if you are into this band, this is no joke, probably an amazing album for you. Probably your favorite. Put it down there in the comments if you already heard it. And for people who like my style of music, this is probably a nice stop and something refreshing from the norm. Yeah guys, so again, 7.5 to an 8. And then for fans of The Used and their style of music, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, blah 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 blah, it's a 9. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned.